Have you ever wondered if the City of Lights holds a dark secret? Paris, the city known for its iconic landmarks, rich history, and world-class cuisine, is a place that nearly every traveler dreams of visiting. But what if I told you that this romantic dream destination is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion? Beneath the glittering surface lies a shadowy underbelly that few dare to speak of. What if in 2024 Paris isn't the city you should be rushing to visit, but rather the city you should be running from? Today we're peeling back the curtain to reveal the 10 shocking reasons why you should never visit Paris, especially not in 2024. We'll start with the least shocking and work our way to the most jaw-dropping truth that may just change the way you see the City of Lights forever. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you might just decide that Paris should be the last place you'd ever want to visit. Reason 10. The overwhelming crowds. Paris is a city that attracts millions of tourists every year, and in 2024 it's going to be worse than ever. Imagine streets so packed you can barely move, landmarks so crowded you can't even enjoy them, and lines so long that your entire day is spent waiting. But it's not just the inconvenience. These crowds can be dangerous. Pickpockets and scammers thrive in the chaos, and if you're not careful, you could be their next target. If you still plan on visiting, consider traveling during the off-season. Early spring or late autumn sees fewer tourists, allowing you to enjoy the city without the overwhelming crowds. Stay vigilant, avoid carrying valuables, and consider using a money belt to keep your belongings safe. But if you think crowds are the worst of your worries, think again, because Paris hides dangers far more sinister than mere inconvenience. Reason 9. The hidden crime epidemic. Paris may seem like a safe haven for tourists, but looks can be deceiving. Beneath the romantic facade lies a growing crime problem that authorities are struggling to control. Muggings, theft, and even violent crime are on the rise, and tourists are often seen as easy targets. The neighborhoods you thought were safe might not be as secure as you believe. In 2024, Paris could be the last place you want to be caught unaware. To stay safe, stick to well-lit, busy areas, especially at night. Avoid walking alone after dark, and be cautious in less touristy neighborhoods. Always be aware of your surroundings, and if something feels off, trust your instincts and leave the area. And if the rising crime rate doesn't make you think twice, perhaps the air you're breathing will. Reason 8. The ominous pollution levels. Everyone talks about the beauty of Paris, but what they don't mention is the suffocating air quality. The pollution in Paris has reached alarming levels, and it's only getting worse. The romantic strolls by the Seine River, they're not so romantic when you're choking on smog. And it's not just the air. Water pollution is also a growing concern. Drinking water in certain areas has been found to contain harmful chemicals. Paris might be beautiful, but at what cost to your health? If you're concerned about pollution, try to avoid visiting during summer months when air quality tends to be the worst. Opt for accommodations away from main roads, and consider wearing a mask on particularly bad air days. Stick to bottled water or filtered water to avoid potential contamination. But while you might be able to shield yourself from pollution, there's one crisis that no mask can protect you from. Reason 7. The striking worker crisis. In 2024, Paris is facing a crisis of a different kind: strikes. The city is notorious for its frequent strikes, and in the coming year they're expected to reach new heights. Imagine planning the trip of a lifetime only to find that the metro isn't running, museums are closed, and even the airports are on strike. Paris could turn into a city at a standstill, leaving you stranded and frustrated. Tip: to navigate around strikes, keep a close eye on local news and strike announcements before and during your trip. Have a backup plan in place, like knowing alternative transportation methods or walking routes. Flexibility is key, so be prepared to adjust your itinerary if necessary. Transition. But as inconvenient as a citywide strike might be, it pales in comparison to the dark history that still haunts Paris to this day. Reason 6. The city's dark historical secrets. Paris is a city with a rich history, but not all of it is glamorous. The streets you walk on today were once soaked in blood, literally. From the gruesome events of the French Revolution to the dark days of World War II, Paris has witnessed unimaginable horrors, and some say the city is still haunted by its past. Visitors have reported strange occurrences in historical sites, cold spots, eerie whispers, and even ghostly apparitions. Is it just your imagination, or is Paris hiding something far more sinister? Tip: if you're intrigued by history but wary of the darker side, choose guided tours that focus on the educational aspect rather than the eerie legends. Stick to well-known and popular sites during the day to avoid potentially unsettling experiences. Transition. But even if you can escape the ghosts of the past, there's a more tangible threat that could be lurking just around the corner. Reason 5. The spreading disease outbreaks. Recent years have seen an increase in disease outbreaks in Paris, and 2024 is no exception. With the city being a hub for international travelers, it has become a breeding ground for various illnesses. Health experts are warning of new and dangerous viruses spreading through the crowded streets, and the healthcare system is struggling to keep up. Imagine falling ill in a foreign country with limited access to medical care. Paris might not be the safe haven you expected. Tip: stay updated on health advisories before and during your trip. Consider getting relevant vaccinations and carry hand sanitizer with you at all times. Avoid crowded places where viruses can easily spread, and if you start feeling unwell, seek medical attention immediately. Transition. As if that weren't enough, there's another threat to your safety in Paris that's all too real. Reason 4. The rising terror threat. Paris has been the target of several high-profile terrorist attacks in recent years, and the threat is far from over. In 2024, intelligence agencies have issued warnings about potential attacks, and the city is on high alert. But despite the increased security, the risk remains. Walking through the crowded streets, attending a major event, or simply enjoying a cafe could put you in danger. Is visiting Paris really worth the risk? Always stay aware of your surroundings, especially in crowded or high-profile areas. Avoid large gatherings or events that could be potential targets. Register with your country's embassy or consulate upon arrival so they can reach you in case of an emergency. But if you think that's the worst Paris has to offer, the true darkness lies much deeper underground. Reason 3. The sinister catacombs. Underneath the streets of Paris lies a labyrinth of tunnels known as the catacombs. While they may seem like a fascinating tourist attraction, they are also a place of unimaginable darkness. Thousands of bones line the walls, the remains of the city's dead, and the atmosphere is heavy with the weight of centuries. But the catacombs are more than just a macabre curiosity. Many visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread, and some have even gotten lost in the maze of tunnels, never to be seen again. Would you dare to venture into the underworld of Paris? If you're determined to explore the catacombs, go with an official tour guide. They'll ensure you don't get lost and provide a safe, informative experience. Stick with the group and avoid venturing off on your own under any circumstances. As unsettling as the catacombs are, there's something even more disturbing lurking in plain sight. Reason 2. The city's increasing surveillance. In 2024, Paris will be one of the most surveilled cities in the world. Cameras are everywhere, watching your every move. While this may be comforting to some, it's also deeply unsettling. Privacy is a thing of the past in Paris, and the feeling of being constantly monitored can turn a dream vacation into a nightmare. The once charming streets now feel cold and unwelcoming, as Big Brother watches from every corner. If the idea of constant surveillance bothers you, research areas of the city where cameras are less prevalent and focus your visit there. Consider limiting your use of personal devices in public spaces to maintain some level of privacy. But even under the watchful eye of surveillance, there's one horror in Paris that no one has been able to stop. Reason 1. The mysterious disappearances. And now, the most shocking reason you should never visit Paris in 2024, the mysterious disappearances. Over the past few years, there have been numerous reports of people vanishing without a trace in the city. Tourists, locals, even entire families have disappeared, and authorities have been unable to provide any answers. Some say the city itself is to blame, that there's something dark and malevolent lurking in the shadows, preying on those who dare to explore too deeply. These disappearances are shrouded in mystery, and no one knows for sure what's happening to these lost souls. Could you be the next victim if you visit Paris in 2024? If you still plan to visit Paris, always travel with someone you trust and avoid isolated areas, especially at night. Keep in regular contact with friends or family back home, letting them know your whereabouts. Consider using a safety app that shares your location in real time with someone you trust, and always have an exit plan in case you feel unsafe. Final thoughts and conclusion. In 2024, Paris may not be the dream destination you've always imagined. The city's dark secrets, increasing dangers, and mysterious disappearances all point to one chilling conclusion. This might not be the Paris you want to experience, but if you do decide to visit, remember the tips I've shared to protect yourself and minimize the risks. After all, sometimes the most beautiful places can also be the most dangerous. So, what do you think? Will you risk it? Or has this video convinced you to steer clear of Paris in 2024? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video eye-opening, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking revelations about the world's most iconic cities. Stay safe, and remember, sometimes it's better to stay away than to regret your decision later.